Well, this is not something I expected to ever see on the desk. This is the first taste of folding phones that anybody got. Royale with cheese. Royole Flexpai, and it started the whole thing. It's a real thing. Look at that. It even won an award, Red Dot Design Award winner 2019. As of right now, the world's first commercially available folding smartphone. It folds like to the outside, kind of like a backwards fold, the opposite of what you do with your wallet. This was the first phone to showcase that type of implementation, but of course, popularized by the footage that came out afterwards of the Huawei Mate X, where people were like, I don't know which implementation is gonna be better. Welcome to Flexible Planet. A little signature Flexpai. It's a special event. I mean, straight away, it feels like an iPad mini. It sort of feels like they intend for you to use it to a certain extent in this format. Look at that. All right, so it's got this reflective kind of finish on the back. Don't even ask me about durability. I was skeptical about durability on these things from day one. This one really looks like two smartphones wedged together. That's really what ends up happening here. You can tell right away it's gonna be different display technology from what you're used to. Now, this was a thing you kind of saw from, to various degrees on the Galaxy Fold, but definitely not this much. Little tiny blotchy aspects of the display. Now, this one, as mentioned, folds this way and then connects with a magnet, but it stays sort of open. It does not close completely. You see light coming through there. Yeah, not exactly folded. Let's see, you fold it out. Oh, it doesn't click. It just makes a weird, listen to this. It's not very confidence inspiring. You hear that noise? It still has a really 1.0 kind of feeling to it. So just keep that in mind. Now, there's a fingerprint scanner over here. Volume down, volume up, fingerprint scanner in the center. Your camera unit, and the only portion of the entire device which isn't a display is this piece right here. 2 camera modules and a flash right there. This is a cool unboxing experience. Look at all, you got all the little boxes. It's feeling very luxury at the moment. Power brick over here. We have USB Type-C, thank you very much. And they've also included a headset, braided cables. Let's check it out. Ooh, it's telling me how to fold it. Oh, they don't want you to touch. Look at this, okay? Do not squeeze the middle area of the screen while unfolding or bending. I mean, this is, again, when it comes down to confidence, inspiring behavior, this is not one of them, right? This little insight here is not making you super confident when they're like, do not touch this region. The last thing you want when you're setting it up is to be fearful of potentially interacting with it wrong and catastrophe striking. And of course, we're all very aware of that because of the situation with the Galaxy Fold. Leave the device unfolded when charging the battery, or will not use the device for a while. So you know what that kind of indicates to me is probably a heat thing. Please don't drop it. You can tell it's a 1.0. I mean, instructions for use, they're like, please be careful. One of the problems with current display tech for flexibility, you get this soft plastic outer shell. It's not Gorilla Glass or anything like that, because of course it has to be able to bend the way that this does. I acknowledged this with the Galaxy Fold right away, just how soft this plastic display is and how nervous I was about the Huawei Mate X implementation, because I was like, I don't know if you want this soft surface on the outside of your device when you pocket it. And I'm sure that's probably why Samsung was motivated to have it close inwards and put that extra display on there, because with this one, when it's folded up, the entire display is exposed. I don't know that this implementation, as it stands right now, without some different surface material, is really practical or feasible. Do not adhere any uncertified protective film on top of the display, no third-party screen protectors, and the ambient temperature drops below -2. Folding and unfolding the device is not recommended. -2 Celsius. So in the winter here, we are squarely in that territory. -2 is nothing. -2, so don't use it outdoors, basically, in the winter. So they call it Water OS, edge screen shortcuts. These will pop up in the hinge location when you have it folded over. So there's some special stuff specifically for this phone, but otherwise, it's like your typical Android skin. They just change the appearance a little bit. When you pull down, notifications and whatnot look pretty normal. Fonts might be a bit different. Now, this really gives you a sense for just how the display appearance will be in sunlight or direct light. You see a lot of imperfections in the display. Now, when you begin to fold it, let's see what happens here. Oh, first up, look at that. Portrait mode. That's about the size of an iPad mini in that setup right there. That's interesting. Now you begin to fold it here, and they want me to hold over here. It made a weird noise again when I did that. And the animation is not super smooth, but as you can see, you have access to the back of it, front of it, I think. Yeah, there you go. And of course, these quick access buttons as well. Interestingly enough, the front display is activated, the rear one turned off. It looks flush with the phone. Now, if I flip it around, it can tell that I did that. That's kind of cool. And then understand I want to be on the back side. Android has been adapting to the idea of flexible displays, but it's still not seamless, especially on a device like this. You know what? If anything, this device already is having me more impressed with what Samsung was able to deliver. This doesn't feel close to something you would want to put in your pocket at this moment in time. Anyhow, so you open up the camera. There we go. And it's triggering some sort of auto HDR. It's looking quite yellow right now, actually. Pretty quick shutter, though. And just like that, you have a photo, which does not look good. That one's better. Sharper, at least. But still weirdly yellow. And you can see the auto white balance kind of playing around in there, because if I look down like this, see it go way more blue, and then I get onto him and it goes super yellow. So it's trying to interpret the color temperature of the situation, and doing so in a really weird way. And it's fairly wide, and I guess what happens? It's just a zoom slider. That's definitely digital zoom at that point. If you hit this button in the bottom right corner, it says please switch to the secondary screen. So now you're in selfie mode, and you got to come to this side. Now the preview is super quick. It's like a 60 FPS preview. That's kind of cool. Selfie performance might be a bit better actually than when not having the flip around. I don't know if it's using a different camera module when you trigger the selfie mode. Again, what are your expectations for a brand like this, for a 1.0 product like this? Are you expecting flagship caliber camera performance, or are you in it for the fold and bend? I think you already know the answer to that. You're in it for the fold and bend. And the multimedia consumption, to watch videos, to watch YouTube. Really where tablets excel is in this department of content consumption. Now let's see what a video feels like on here. I mean, our videos are a typical aspect ratio, 16:9. So it doesn't quite fill this up. Looks all right. Let's see if we can get some extra volume on here.
With a playtime of up to 20 hours on the little
that's
guy,
pretty loud.
and a playtime of up to 40 hours on the bigger
But it's
guy.
crunchy
So
too.
I assume that's probably going to be a bit heavier also. I can speak from personal experience. I'll just say they have sounded really good in the past.
So there's a bit of distortion in the sound when you go up above a certain point. Speakers are not as good as the Samsung product, not as good as the Galaxy Fold. Look, this is not the finished product. This is not the final form of the folding phone. How about that for an advantage? You can just stand it up. This is chunky, it's heavy, it's weird. Actually, I kind of like it for that. The fact that it's so 1.0, it almost feels like you're holding a piece of history. It almost feels like you're holding an eventual artifact. This is the first piece of flexible display history that you can order. Like, you can order this thing as it stands right now. So just from an artifact status, it has some appeal, at least for me as a tech fan. But I'm not gonna recommend you buy it. It feels kinda wonky, and it's expensive as well. So Will just told me it's $1,300, so it's not a good decision right now to rush out and get some super early technology like this for most buyers. If you're a tech collector and you're looking for that early artifact and you just want to be on the fringe to be on the fringe, I'm kind of that guy. For the time being, maybe I gotta slip the SIM in. What do you guys say? I don't know. It's kind of my job, so I'm gonna do it. All right, fine. I'll put my SIM card in it. I'll suffer on your behalf. That's what I do.